Truth be told, we are not the sum total of our experiences. What we experience are just mere milestones and lessons that we must learn and reach so that we can become greater souls. Life is continuity. It doesn't begin in a womb, nor does it end in the grave. No one can define you. The moment you allow them to define you, then you allow them to become your God. You must realize that you are the grand architect of your own reality. Tap into your imagination and shift your current condition into what it is you truly desire to see about yourself. See, when the people don't control their wealth, they don't control their conditions. If you can't control your wealth, you can't truly control your food source, or your living conditions, or circumstances. But until we have control over our wealth, we'll forever be distressed. Get to the bag.
It's you liberals who have lifted them up, Howard.
Paul, you conservatives make a mistake. You can't afford to strangle hope in people. Without hope, people become dangerous.
No, Howard, you liberals have let them invade our society. You give them jobs, political jobs.
Paul, you missed the point. It's only the smart ones we move up.
That makes it even worse.
No, we have to move them up. If we leave a smart one in the ghetto, he might develop into a leader against us. But if we raise him up into white society, we neutralize him. He feels compelled to try to act like us. He loses his identity and his racial anger, if he has any. He becomes alien to his brothers. They realize he sold them out and they grow to hate him. He becomes worthless to them and safe for us. No, thank you. In fact, in his love for the creature comforts, except for his color, he's become one of us.
And this is why they hate blacks in America so much, the white power structure. We're the only non-white people in the country who cannot be sent home. Right. You cannot be deported. Slavery destroyed your cultural, psychological, and intellectual connection to your ancestral homeland. If the Ghanaian get on your nerve, he go back to Ghana. If the Puerto Rican gets on your nerves, he go back to Puerto Rico. If the Afro-Cuban gets on your nerves, he or she go back to Cuba. If the Chinese get on your nerves, send them back to China. If the East Indian gets on your nerves, send them back to India. If the Arab gets on your nerve, send them back to one of the Middle Eastern states. But when American Africans get on your nerves, where do you deport us to? Most American Africans are so brainwashed, they think they're American. So you cannot deport them because this is what they identify with most. So in other words, the white man created his own problem, which makes it almost impossible to deport us. So the only way to get rid of us is a systemic system of racial genocide, and that's what they're using. So the black millionaire and billionaire class is one of white supremacy's greatest arguments to defend itself against accusations of racism. Tyler Perry is not going to indict the system because they made their money through the system. And because they're at the top of black society, they know how powerful white folks really are. At the end of the day, all of our black millionaires and billionaires are owned by the white power structure. The problem is they can't top it off with a cherry on top. And the cherry on top is to look the camera in the eye and say, I made it. What could we do with our education and income to weaken those chains so one day they can fall? Africa would love to do business with us instead of the World Bank or the International Monetary Fund or the French government or the Belgian government or the German government. They would rather do the business with us. But the problem with black folks, we are comfortable and content being American slaves. We're not looking at the global ramifications of our irresponsible behavior. We're not looking at the global needs of our people. We are content with this America the way that it is. We are comfortable being treated like 21st century slaves. Because if we were not, with the resources we waste every day, we would be going crazy. Go down your social media feed. Does it look like black America's in a crisis? Go down your YouTube. Does it look like black America's in a crisis? Go through your Twitter.
True.
Go in. If you did not know how racist America was, and you went to black Twitter, black Instagram, black TikTok, black
Nothing
YouTube,
important there.
could you tell?
No.
Don't it look like we live in the best times of our lives? Because black people are like overgrown children. Slavery arrested our psychopolitical development. Slavery arrested our psychopolitical development. The slave system turned us into eternal children in this country. What do children do? They spend their money on the things that they like, and they beg their parents for the things that they need. Is that not black America? $2 billion on Air Jordans every year.
You're right.
$4 billion on liquor, $30 billion on hair and beauty, nearly $1 billion on chicken, turkey, beef, and pork, multiple billion on video games, multiple million on children's cologne. Children's cologne. Check this out. We spent
I didn't
about
even know they had that. Like,
we spent about $21 million on children's cologne a year.
wow.
What the fuck is children's cologne?
You know, baby Polo,
Yeah.
baby Versace. They got children's cologne. But half the black boys in America in 4th grade can't read on their grade level.
That's a fact.
Half the black boys in America in 8th grade can't read on their grade level. But we
Definitely.
spending $21 million on cologne. I don't excuse nothing another race does to my people. Because as a human being, you should be able to practice decency, whether you're dealing with a billionaire or somebody who's dead, broken, homeless on the street. You understand me?
Definitely.
But we have to look in the mirror too and look at how we make it easy for people to disrespect us. Because how does a people in your condition have the time to engage in this type of tomfoolery over here? Do you feel me?
Yeah.
If I'm Chinese looking at Black America, how do I make sense out of this?
Right.
Y'all can't care about yourselves because as much as you talk about reparations and as much as you talk about the next presidential election, look at the money you waste. Imagine a Korean walk into a black community meeting on reparations, a Korean, and stand up and say, can I ask y'all a question? Why y'all in here arguing over reparations when y'all done turned my people into $1 trillion nation? I make $30 billion off y'all people a year. $30 billion a year. How much have we give the Koreans over the past 30 years? What's 30 billion times 30 years? And you talking about reparations? You see that? But black people are in denial about our self-hate. I tell black women all the time, if you would just stop hating the way God made you, you can take your $30 billion a year and build an independent school for every black girl out here. You could stop child sex trafficking. Black women could wipe out child sex trafficking for black girls by taking some of that $30 billion on here. But guess what? How I look is way more important than the condition of my people. See, when Donald Trump said during the debate that Joe Biden is taking black jobs and giving them to migrants, he was correct. Although he didn't say it because he cared about us, but he's right. When people say, what do you mean by black jobs? Get out your bougie feelings and deal with the reality. 1/3 of black men have a felony. So there's a lot of jobs they will never qualify for. They are mostly what? Essential workers, warehouse, trucking, security. And a lot of those jobs are going to who? The migrants. They're not the enemy. The problem is black people don't get as much opportunity. So that's what he meant by black jobs. We got to stop being so sensitive and look at the reality of it.
Truth be told,